One viewer, we have a viewer online as we come to you live from Beeswax Dyson Farming. Head of Dyson Hoovers manufactured. Now gone into farming. So who's online? We are live from Dyson Beeswax Farming in the UK. Dyson, who revolutionised the vacuum cleaner, he now owns all this land where I grew up. When he was a smaller farmer, this is it. This is his show field, because I think this is one of his main estate. That's it. This is his estate office. This is Dyson's estate office, which is the house which was built for the previous farmer. Very popular because he sold off all the workforce. His houses. You used to get like a house with the job when you were on working on the farm, and it's a nice little cottage, stone cottage. And then then this guy, no, not this guy. Then the guy that bought it off this guy bought it up, sold all the workers' cottages off, gave them a bit of money, and built that house for himself, which is now James Dyson. Is it James Dyson who built the vacuum cleaners, which is now his estate office for all this farmland that he bought up in Lincolnshire, where I've been having all the ET contact. So, hey James Dyson, I'll tag you in the quotes. I'm into extraterrestrial contact, and I've been having it on your land before you got here, I think. So I just thought I'd let you know. And so this is all James Dyson's land. And so he's turned that house that I almost helped build it. So I used to labour on this farm, and I was going to help labour on it one day, but it got cancelled. But my mate was like working on that when it's been built, and now James Dyson's bought up all the land because he's like made his fortune out of vacuum cleaners. And yeah, so I don't know if he comes here very often. I think he does. So I was talking to one of his shepherds that rides around on a quad around there, and this is his show field. This is Dyson's show field. So this is as good as Dyson Farming gets. So if Dyson Farming can't do better than this, we're screwed. But they seem to be doing quite a good job. So this is Dyson's crop, and this is the main road up to the estate office. So this is like his show field, obviously, because it looks very good, and it's got a nice grass verge lawn mowed up to it. I don't think he does that in all his fields. And he had loads of footpaths around here, and there still are quite a lot, but he's shut a couple of them off. So he's not quite as good as he was when he first got here. So, but it seems fair enough, to be fair. It's going right up to the farm road, so I don't want to walk them. He's opened up all these paths through the woodland, and so this is Dyson Farming. I wasn't planning on doing a video about Dyson Farming when I logged on there, sorry, covering the lens. And yes, it's just interesting, I guess, the evolution of consciousness, how things move on. You invent a Hoover, next thing you know, you've got an empire, and you own half of the UK. It's good on him, I reckon. He seems like a good guy, from what I know about Dyson. A lot better than what could have bought up this land. I'm happy Dyson's got it, because it was going to go corporatised some way, because we're stuck in this 5G corporate revolution, aren't we? But so I'm happy James Dyson's bought up this land, because sacred land around here. And there's a lot of forest, woodland, trees, ancient woodlands, which you don't get much in Europe at all. The UK's got more woodland than any other country in Europe. They've just well, it used to be completely forested, the UK, and so I'm about to enter the woods. So what was the theme of this video? You are the one. You are the one. So quite a few people will probably see this video. I'm bearing in mind, even though like my channel has died on its arse. Because even my worst videos go over 100 views, so I should bear that in mind when I'm making this video. So what am I talking about? You are the one. Yeah, I guess I've seen that you are the one. You are the one. You are the one. Whoever's watching this, you are the one, because we are all the one. And everyone's like on this path of like spiritual awakening, or a lot of people are on this path of spiritual awakening now, because they've been inspired by themselves to go on this path of spiritual awakening. And I've just seen now that we are already self-realized. You know, we are already enlightened. We are already one. We are already the one. Although it can be confusing sometimes, especially when we go into like manifestation, because we have to be humble before our own greater one. But who is the one? Because there is, obviously we have a separate ego. We have this structure, this separate body mind structure that operates in this reality, but ultimately we are all the one. We are the one self. I guess it depends on what aspect of ourself we focus upon, but we've just got to remember that when we enter into those states of meditation, you know, those states between thoughts, or when we get a glimpse, you know, when we're in spectacular woodland and our mind is quite quiet for a moment, and we go into a deep stillness, a deep peace, or if you've had any of these experiences, this is self-realization. You know, we are enlightened, and these are sort of doorways into that reality. And ultimately, it's not about like those moments of meditation. It's about realizing that consciousness pervades everything. We're always here, but it's very subtle at first, and obviously your mind will tell you that it doesn't really exist. And when your mind's having a rant, it doesn't exist because you're stuck in your mind. You're not in that space so much. But after a while, you sort of sense that even your mind is that space. But it's just an evolution, and we know this already, but it's just a process we're going through. And the mind can like cloud it up, but it just intensifies, and it just intensifies, and it just intensifies, and that's all that's happening. And you know, we just need to chill out a bit and understand that we're going through a process of self-realization. It's a process, it's an ongoing process. We can continue to rise and rise and rise in consciousness. And that's how I see it. It's not like a one moment in time self-realization. I think what people who describe it like that are describing like the falling away of a lot of like emotional patterns, and this is what it's about all the time. We're gaining greater clarity of our emotional patterns, the way we operate in reality based on emotional responses that are connected to like these lower chakra systems that are to do with like how we were treated as a child growing up with our parents, and these still operate in us, and they still operate even in me. But it's just about gaining greater and greater clarity about the patterns that operate on planet Earth, that are controlling the minds of like everyone. And that's all that being asleep means, is that you're not so aware of these like patterns that are controlling your life. That you know, like you won't go out because you feel, insecure about what people will think about you because of your appearance, just for example. I mean, that's an emotional pattern that is controlling your life. It's ridiculous, it's insane, and it's like, but humans, and like for thousands of years we've been like completely locked in these patterns, and like everything we do is based on our like fear of how we will be perceived, or either our fear of ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, or the fear of how others perceive us. Like literally, like we go out and like, so we see someone on the street and they'll speak to us and we'll be like, I don't want to talk to them, I think we should go in a different direction. And that's a pattern. Like it's triggered something in you, like an insecurity about speaking to someone in case they think you're not good enough, and triggered an ego in you that wants to be good, and now they've made you feel bad, so you've gone in a different direction in your life. That's basically what humans have been doing for thousands of years, and what we're all doing every day. Like our entire reality is directed by like what our fear of what we think other people will do to us or treat us or affect us. And we're so afraid of that because we're getting triggered in our lower chakras that we actually let it direct the course of our lives. So we're like, but like self-realization is just the process of getting more and more clarity all the time of those patterns that control our lives, and just letting those patterns go. So we spend more time in the higher conscious state of being, and less time in those patterns. So that's basically all I wanted to say. So it's 11:11. So maybe that's a good place to finish. So Shivai, peace out. I bet I don't even get 100 views now. No, I said that. Have a great day, guys. Bye.